Myra, I would now like to come to you, and I would like you to sort of, with regards to the UN Plan of Action and with regards to the safety of journalists, I would specifically like you to highlight the role of media associations, press clubs, in terms of addressing such issues. I'm sure that there must be some advocacy efforts, but must be sort of some coherent strategies which you have developed. If not, then we can find avenues and we can devise some strategies together on this regard. And then specifically, I would like you to focus on the challenges right now which the women journalists are facing, and then how is National Press Club or the union journalists are interacting with women journalists in this regard. So we'll sort of start off from there.
Thank you so much, Hamza, and all the organizers for arranging this discussion on this very special day for us. I think Fardullah Babar Sahab and Irada has set the ground very well, have explained all the situation that we are passing through, the crisis that we have in our country of media, the crisis that we are trying to control. But again, with every passing day, with more and more laws and more protection and safety mechanisms, we are getting more and more insecure, and the crisis is getting deeper with time. And being vice president for National Press Club is not very easy at this time. And sometimes even I try not to mention my position, because there is so much expectation from unions and from press clubs at this time. And we know that, as Aftab Saab has mentioned, that we have the capacity issue, both financial capacity of addressing these things, and also the capacity to organize the events, to organize the advocacy platforms for these issues. But whatever we have in our capacity, it is our utmost priority to be, keep raising the voice, keep advocating, keep doing that fearlessly and with more and more stronger voices. But again, we are still as a journalist community, we are clueless in a way that the stakeholders are, you cannot count them on fingers. The media stakeholders are. We have political parties that are the stakeholders. We have the media owners. We have the government, the business tycoons that we have. We have the religious parties that are also stakeholders. So every section of the society, it is depending on media in one way or the other. But again, all these stakeholders, they keep blaming each other where to look for the solution. It has become a very difficult question. Like, the government is blaming the media owners. Media owners are blaming the government. The union are blaming media and owners. The public is blaming media for creating this frustration in the society. We are not that favorite now. There was a time 10 years ago when I joined media, when you go among the public, they will come towards you with applications of, I have this problem, kindly help me to solve this problem. But now when we go into the crowd, they will say, okay, what are you doing? You are playing with our minds, with our emotions, and when are you going to stop? When are you going to grow up and become a part of the solution instead of part of the problem? So it is not very rosy situation when you talk about, when you go to media departments in universities, the students are having this stardom in their minds. There are countless number of students in media departments, and especially women. You will find most of those are women, and because they are here, because they think they will become anchor one day, and they will have a stardom, and everyone will know them. But again, it's not a very easy profession. Whenever I take lectures in universities, when I let them know then what is meant to be a reporter, then it becomes very shocking for them. Okay, so what are you talking about? What media you are talking about? So there are so many things going on, but again, we feel clueless. And we have ITNE, we have protection laws passed, we have PEMRA, we have criminal laws, we have harassment law, we have so many laws But again, these laws are not serving the people and especially the journalist community. If you talk about the harassment issue of women, yes, it is very discouraging for those who want to join media and those who are in media, especially the anchors. They are facing so many, I don't know how they're coping with this psychologically, but whenever you talk to them, they are heartbroken. Their families have been affected by this. Has become more and more difficult for them to deal with the kind of psychological impact it is having on themselves, but the kind of self-censorship they're experiencing because of this. So all these things are, if you talk about where to go and what would be the solution and what unions and press clubs are doing. We are advocating since long, like we were warning since long, all those stakeholders that it is going to have an impact. These are not smaller mistakes. It's not like that you will always say, okay, if you are media, you will have to face this. If you are in media, you will face harassment online. If you are in media, you will face this kind of attitude from the government, from the people, or from the state. So we were advocating, okay, you have to control it here at this time, but it was not taken seriously. So the first step would be to take seriously what is having this impact, because now the time is like it's over, and we are experiencing those. I will call them in Urdu. We call this saneha, the death of Arshad Sharif and the death of Sadaf. We'll call it, okay, this is too much. I mean, she was not given any facility. If I talk about Sadaf, from her organization, they are not receiving pays for like 2 to 3 months. She was not even given transport from the channel she was working for. She was traveling in some other channel's transport for 2 days, and she was so pressed to have this exclusive story, to have Imran Khan's interview. So she was ready to do everything. It was on her part to be cautious, to work as the journalist community is discussing that if you are not getting paid, so you have to take care of your life first. So there are so many dimensions to this, but first we have to look into the smallest things that have grown bigger so much that they are not looking like anything can control these things. The attitudes, on online, when there was abuse of extreme kind, the language was used and nothing was done to stop that, saying that it will happen. But the next step would be to from online to physical assault. So the government, all those responsible have to realize that this is going to happen, and it's going to get worse unless and until we start taking the issues seriously. We start working together, and we start strengthening the mechanisms that can protect journalists. So I think this gathering is a good step to discuss such things and to raise the voices. But as Aftab Sahab has said, we have to strengthen unions and we have to strengthen press clubs, because they have to play the role which is actually not their role, because National Press Club is basically an entertainment platform for journalists, to facilitate journalists. But we are doing welfare, we are doing advocacy, and because of that we are targeted and not given the funds properly by the government. Like for so many years, the government has not given the fund that is due for the government to do that, because we are into advocacy. So we have to strengthen the existing institutions instead of letting them alone, instead of letting them get divided and not having a strong voice. That's what I would like to say. Now it's open for any questions.
Okay, thank you.